No, I don't. Never really go on Facebook. Is it 'cause of you?
I swear you're heaven sent, heaven sent. You came in with that medicine, put a healing hand on my heart. Now suddenly I can feel again.
Hi, Facebook Live. I never come on Facebook. So we got. I know it's called Big Blue.
You will find your way to me and see everything you ever need in my business. What are we waiting for? What are we hiding from? Nothing to fear anymore. Let's take off and get lost forever.
Don't start today. Maybe that's. Don't start, Kendall. Wait, like that. Did I do it right? Here, Dricus, make sure that's like straight. Can you see both of us?
Look up one thing real quick.
So we're on Facebook Live and IG Live. And this will be our
6, 7. Nah. We've been doing these early. But the live joints, I think it's like number 6 or 7.
is
Something like that.
okay. So it's fun. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
Let's try and get their names right. Okay. Alright. Yeah.
Let's do it.
So what's happening? What's up? We can announce that at the end. We can close that at the end. I just wanted to make sure that I got the names
Okay.
exactly where they needed to be. We back. Taylor Talk. Me and my queen.
I be liking to I be wanting to look at you. Is this wrong?
They just want to look at you.
Oh. I be wanting to look at you. Is this not right?
You
Tell
look at
me.
You can look at me.
No? It's okay, it's okay.
Well, we just want to thank everybody who helped out with the virtual tour. I mean, the virtual concert.
Woohoo!
Oh,
Is it
maybe
tour
I'm
time?
giving up too much.
Speaking.
But it was a great learning experience. Some
Yeah.
great challenges, some great opportunities.
Yeah.
And I guess from what you all are saying, all over the world, people were tuning in literally all over the world. It was a great response. And so we're putting some little editing together now that we closed out the agenda, and we're going to put it on her Fantasia Takeover YouTube, hopefully by tomorrow, and you can enjoy it, share it, live with it, while we cook up something even better.
The dopest part is it's all independent.
And dependent.
So, not to knock any other company, we were gonna go with a company, a good company.
A couple companies.
Yeah, but I'm in this season and I'm in this time of seeing my vision, our vision come to life, and just making sure that, you know, I always say to you guys that the gift is never prostituted anymore.
Right.
And so, and I don't think that a lot of things were intentional. It's just a lot of things that I see that I'm like, I don't want that anymore, that anymore, that anymore. So we did it independent. And I want to thank Marciano and my king, because I trusted them and I never bothered y'all on the cameras.
No doubt.
And when I look back at it, I was like, yo, it was beautiful. I went to sleep that night though, and I woke up and I was like, King. And this is how we can start it off. But I'm gonna let you read
We
this
talking
first.
about minding your business.
Minding your business.
Yeah.
So I went to sleep that night and I was like, I woke up and I was like, you know what, King? I just felt like it was so good, and we did we put so much into it that the whole world should have seen it. And in that moment, that's when God was like, hold on, you're taking your focus off of the purpose.
Right. Agenda. Your agenda was satisfied.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, you wake up and you be like, after all I've done for this person, that person, they couldn't post it, they couldn't do this, they couldn't do that. And God was like, it's not about all of that. Everybody who tuned in, we hadn't got not one bad message. Everybody was blessed. So, yeah, minding our business. That's all we
always
want.
where you're supposed to be. You know what I mean? And that's what we want to talk about today. We know when we put the title like that, minding your business, you know, people love drama. So y'all might have thought we were going to come with, you know, mind your business, stay in your lane, but we're talking about minding your business.
Your business.
While a lot of businesses are crashing right now, there are also some being birthed to echo what we talked about last week, you know, so let's cook.
That's cool.
Minding your business has many levels and hats that come along with that statement. but for the sake of time, we're going to only talk about 3. Minding your business means that you take the necessary time to determine your personal objectives, what you want to offer to the marketplace, and what you're seeking in return, and then attach realistic expectations for your business based on the level of expertise and commitment that you are willing to sacrifice. Because be clear, some people do not want wealth. They don't want the responsibility or the demands, because to whom much is given, much is required. So we salute men and women who have found a rhythm and a pace and on cruise control and enjoying their life. They also serve a purpose. Number 2, minding your business also means that if you desire to grow and you are willing to accept the challenges and the entrepreneurial stretch marks associated with growth, because whether you succeed or fail, you will never look the same, then you must schedule time to step outside of your business as a co-laborer and find time to objectively look at your business, knowing that there are always areas of improvement to adjust somewhere in sight. And last, minding your business means just that, minding your business. Too often people in business focus too much on other people's movements and begin to lose sight on where God is directing them. Your lane and your vehicle, which is moving, is exactly what God established for you in this season. Taking your eyes off the road, trying to sightsee on other people's success, can ultimately cause you to crash and then watch less talented people and less anointed people pass you by. What you know about it?
Taking your eyes, wait, what was that you said?
Taking your eyes off the road, trying to sightsee on other people's success can ultimately cause you to crash, leaving you to watch other people who are less talented and less anointed pass you by.
Wow. God.
Minding your business.
Minding your business. Minding your business. Because we were sitting in bed, you know, it's been a long week with the show.
Boy.
And then after we wanted to watch it with you know, those who did not get to see it. And then we wanted to show some love to our band. So, you know, we were trying to host and, you know, so we looked at each other and was like, babe, what are we going to talk about this Tuesday? And I told him, I was like, last Tuesday to me was so good. There was some good nuggets in that. And I feel like we needed to kind of focus a little more on that, because there's some people really watching that's like, okay, yo, I didn't look at it that way, or I didn't see it that way, or, you know, okay, good, I'm going to try that. Yeah. And so we were just sitting in the bed. King was like, we're going to talk about business. We're going to talk about minding your business. It seems like you're coming like with a pop off, like mind your business. But doing it in a clever way of just saying like, nah, mind your business, your birth your baby. Focus on, you know, all of the things that you want to do, and that you gotta mind it, because it takes a lot. You were saying some of that, too much is given, much is required.
Much is required.
But that doesn't mean give up. We were just talking to a young man. Shout outs to him. I hope he's watching. He and his wife.
He's probably watching.
We were just talking to him. He's our brother now. We were talking to him and just kind of letting him know, you know, he just started a business. And he was like, I'm afraid. I'm freaking out. If you want to turn it so that you can see it, Dorikas, you can turn it. Okay. He was just like, I'm freaking out. He was like, I'm scared. It's uncomfortable. And what did you tell him? Because I liked it.
I said, man, right where it's uncomfortable is where God is at. Like, you know, if you want to grow, you got to start being more comfortable with the unfamiliar. You know, faith doesn't get stretched in places of comfort. There's no story in the Bible where you could tell me God spoke a word to somebody and told them, stay right there. I'm going to bring it to you. He's going to call you to move. He's going to call you to cut something. He's going to cause you to put the things you love on the altar, like Abraham had to do. It's going to cause you to leave your homeland. It's going to be a very uncomfortable thing, but in that place of discomfort is where your faith is stretched, because you start to realize, I know what he showed me that I can accomplish, but I know for a fact I can't do it. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough resources. I don't have enough time. But when you believe in what he showed you and you go into that covenant place, that's when you have to get on your face. That's when you have to trust him to the ninth hour to be God. And it strengthens you to continue to grow and to stretch even more. So when things are too comfortable, me and my wife got this thing where we'll be like, yo, we ain't had no drama in like 2 weeks. Like,
yeah, we
something
like,
ain't right. You know, ain't been no drama with family. Like, the money's coming in smooth. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, God great do something.
Yeah, we know somebody.
Stop blaming it on the devil.
Oh, yeah.
Enemy don't want this, Satan don't. Man, maybe God just want to give you some entrepreneurial stretch marks.
Woo! I'm going to punch you in the head.
Okay.
No, I ain't going to punch you, baby.
God is good.
What did you say? Some what?
I call them entrepreneurial stretch marks.
I told Kendall I'm going to start recording him. Because he say stuff, and I be like, I find myself going, No, real talk, one day he had to speak at a graduation.
Yeah, you thought it was church. I'm up there trying to deliver this commencement speech to these kids. Yes! Tell them! Yeah, huh? I'm like...
It was so good. the young people, and I was seeing them connect with things he was saying, and I was like, I think that is when I truly realized that day. Didn't I tell you?
Yeah, you said I see.
I said, I see you, and I know who you are. So I'm gonna start putting my phone on and just recording some of your stuff, and that way, when I'm not with you, I'm gonna spit it, and they gonna think I came up with it.
Well, if you say it, you my white dog. If you say it, it's yours. If I say it, it's yours. Like,
Okay.
just make sure you put that on there.
On there,
and
I'm
be
gonna do
straight.
that.
Yeah.
I like that though. Say that one more time.
Entrepreneurial stretch marks.
Woo, woo, woo.
Because what did Cat Williams say? He said, dudes don't be carrying girls if you got stretch marks. He said either you was small and you got big, or you was big and you got small. Same thing with business.
Oh.
Sometimes your business can outgrow you when you have to downsize. You have to go into a smaller space. You have to let some people go. You have to readjust. Those are stretch marks. And then sometimes you're small and you get the contract of a lifetime and you end up like me, having to sleep in the warehouse. You having to sleep in the office in order to satisfy. Those stretch marks come from being good. Those are entrepreneurial stretch marks. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into some fun stuff, because they really want to know.
I'm gonna invest in your ministry. Let me see.
You already invested in my ministry when you put that ring on, girl.
I was gonna pay you, but I ain't got.
You ain't got nothing in them pockets, girl. I know that for a fact. I'd have been there soon. So real quick, one thing I need y'all people to understand, there's a difference between a business and a company. You need to decide which one you're trying to birth. A business is a lifestyle platform that is expected to endure from the present and possibly even the next generation. It supplies owners with a comfortable lifestyle, a sense of control, and single-level responsibility requirements. A company has a vision and a mission that reaches further than your own personal needs and goals, and to create change, value, and impact the entire world around them, and has the potential to bless other families for generations to come. So be clear on what you want. Don't go get a $50 business license and talk about my company. And it's okay. But some people just want a business where I can have me a nice car, I can say I'm the boss and I'm good, a little bit of headache. Some people say, God, I want to see how big you can be. And you get outside of yourself and you start to realize that you're just a funnel, you're a portal for God to be a blessing to other people. And that's when you can enter into a space of a company. My iPad went dead, but I'm glad I know my notes in my head.
That's all right. I can charge it right here.
Oh, no, it's okay though. So one of the questions I had is, what is one of the greatest, my first question for you was, what was that moment? Because when you grew up, you just wanted to sing.
Yeah.
You just wanted to sing and have fun. You won American Idol. They threw money at you. They threw you in the VIP spot. They threw you in the limelight. But there was a moment when you realized, this is a business.
Yeah.
What was that moment for you when you realized that you were either being impacted by or that you needed to start adopting and applying some business principles along with your gift?
It took a very long time. I was 19 when I won. So I ain't know nothing about nothing other than just singing. Like, just give me the mic and we can go. I think, unless we can be honest, you always ask me. And I be ending up on the Breakfast Club and stuff.
I'll be there with you next time.
Okay, babe. No. Honestly, it was when I lost everything that first time.
Stretch mark.
What?
You was big and got small.
I was living in a mansion. I had my whole entire family in the house with me. I always tell you this story. And I knew that I could sing. I knew if you gave me a mic and put me on the stage, I would go. Let's go. What's good? But when I was coming off of the stage, I wasn't educating myself to understand what was going in, what was coming out, how much you got to pay the band, how much the hotels are, how much the flights, how much is per diem. I wasn't educating myself on none of that. So when I got home one time, I went to go order a pizza. And I could not order a pizza. Worldwide, traveling here and there. Dorikas know for a fact because he's been with me this whole time. I could not order a pizza. Do you understand how crazy I felt? And I kept telling her to run it again. Run it again. Here's the crazy part. Watch this. She knew who I was. She was willing to just be like, you know what? We'll just give. And at that time.
That's humbling.
But watch this. I was still in my phase. This was the phase of my life where I was like, you mean to tell me, nah, I don't want your free pizza. Pride. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm straight. Because I was like, hold up. And that's when I called my accountant, who was my accountant at the time. And they let me know that I had no money, that certain person was supposed to go to court for this, and stuff that I didn't even know. You know what they used to tell me? Don't tell her, she's fragile.
Right.
Don't tell her, she's fragile. So everything just came crashing in on me. And I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that I learned everything in that time. That's when I began to like break. And that's why when you was like, yo, in the midst of chaos, that's where God is. And true story, and I'm not going to hold you long. True story. What I tell you about the birds? I went into my room, and I never came out. I was embarrassed in front of my family. I was embarrassed in front of anybody. I was embarrassed. I had no money to order pizza. How am I going to take care of my family? How are we going to pay the bills? I'm putting food on the table. I never came out. My grandmother was living at this time. And in my room at the time, there was a door that was a glass door. And it seemed like this bird was just, trying to fly through the door. He didn't see the glass. And so the day one it started, and he tried to get through the glass, and the other bird was on the rail, like, singing. And so, in the South, when they say a bird try to fly through your house, it means death. So I was like, well, am I about to die now? And so it did it every day. That bird would come at 6 o'clock in the morning and tapping on my door, and the other bird would be on the rail singing, 2 birds. So I remember I called my grandmother, and my grandmother said to me, talk to the bird. I'm like, okay, you know what? Everybody's tripping. I'm like, grandma, but my grandmother was that deep. Anybody on here who knew my grandmother, my grandmother was spiritually deep. She was deep. Then my cousin KC came off the road and he came to see me. And KC said, talk to the bird. I'm like, is KC tripping too? Finally, on that last, I think it was 7 days that bird knocked on my door. My mother ran upstairs at 6 o'clock in the morning and was like, God told me to tell you, that bird came to wake you up. The other bird wants you to worship your way through. And so I couldn't even pray at that time because I was like, you know how everybody, why is God forsaking me? I'm good to everybody. I don't do this. I don't do that. I don't do this. And I kid you not, the next day, a $250,000 check came for me. And so at that point in my life, I realized I got to change some things. But it took a while. It didn't start there. Yeah. It really didn't start until I kind of linked up with you. I was kind of starting it, and you've seen that. Mm-hmm. And Derikas knows it because I was having dreams and I was switching up things and putting things in place. But it wasn't until I got married and me and you would begin to have certain conversations. And you allowed me to know, like, you're very smart. You can do this, you can do that, you can do this, you can do that. And that's when we started doing it. Took a while. 2 birds. Remember that story?
That's a powerful story. And one thing came out that just stuck with me. I didn't want to cut your wisdom. But you were talking about the pizza lady was willing to extend a gift of generosity, but the pride was almost getting in the way. And it made me think about Elijah when he was on the run from Jezebel, and the Most High sent a raven to feed him. One of the most disgusting birds that are out there, you know what I'm saying? We have to be careful that we don't turn away the ravens in our lives because you want a dove to bring your blessing. You want a Mercedes to bring your blessing. You want a pastor to bring your blessing. 9 times out of 10, God gonna send you a raven, but you got to still be able to see God's beautiful, pure holiness inside of it so that you don't reject it. You know what I'm saying? And so that just kind of stuck with me as a lesson because I know pride can get in the way. Yeah. And one thing about being in business, you have to have a student mentality all the time.
Ooh, I like that.
And my experience, to be real quick, I guess, this is so sad, but it's just true. And I know I'm speaking to a lot of brothers. Mine came in the street where I was hustling. I was moving certain product, but I realized I was trying to keep up with the Joneses. I was trying to wear what they wear, go with where they go, get the jewelry they got. But then I realized, like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm caught up in a cycle. And so I began to defer certain things, and I started learning about deferred gratification, meaning, yes, I can go buy that, but I don't need that right now. I have to have something that I want. They call it like a big, hairy, audacious goal, where you want something so great that it allows you the strength to say no and display self-discipline in the little thing, because it's that little thing that gets in the way. Well, it's only $5 on Amazon. It's only a $20 meal. But when you keep doing that and you keep doing that and you keep doing that, you will not hit your line of sight. You'll miss it every time. Yeah. So for me, it really started in the streets, like a lot of brothers, understanding cash flow, better disciplines and practices that I've been able to expound and evolve on those in the business market. So that was my thing. My next question for you was, what is some of the best business advice you've ever received as it relates to your industry and your career. And if you have the liberty to do so, who did you get that advice from?
I'm gonna be very honest. I don't think I ever really got business advice. I got more advice on, it just all depends whether you, so Patty LaBelle and Aretha Franklin, I would say Shaka Khan, Tyler Perry. Like, I had people to pull me to the side and say, you know, you need to focus, you need to, but I never had anybody to sit me down and say, so you need to do this, then after that, do this, and after that. So I had to learn that on my own through all the bad stuff.
Gotcha.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
And then what happened was I started seeing the same old stuff, hearing the same. You ever been to a meeting? Hold on. Let me just figure out how to put this. People who sell you stuff, like when you go to the store and they selling you, or they out there and they're promoting the new vacuum cleaner or a new bullet or, you know, shape thing, or, you know, and they sell it, right? And you sell it.
You got
like,
to have it.
Yeah.
I ain't got no bullet.
I think for me, I learned from all the bad stuff that you can't quickly sell me.
Okay. That's hot advice, though.
You can't. Like, I see right through it. I know that you're just promoting your product. Now, if you sat down with me and you gave me the real,
Okay.
let me know what type of situation we dealing with here, and then humble yourself and say to me, but I think with you,
Keep it G.
if I had that and we got this, now I'm not where I would work with somebody first like that, then I would work with anybody that sell me a dream. And in the business I live in, we are always getting sold a dream. I love you. I got your back. We can
just
do
talking
this.
about that the other
We can
day.
do that. Yes.
I can't remember what it was, but you were saying something. You was like, I can't remember who was talking about. And I probably wouldn't say their name if I could recall. But you was like, nah, they just want something. And the whole thing is like, that's okay. It's okay if you want something. Every day of our life, somebody's calling, emailing, knocking on the door because they want something. Cool. But what do we get in return? It's just an exchange. At the end of the day, business is no more than a good or a service on this side and a customer on this side. Where the magic happens is in relationship management. That's it. An Amazon box with my new headphones don't communicate to me. And I ain't gonna speak about, I've never talked to Jeff Bezos. The experience that we have is the interaction in between. And that's not really a great example because all that stuff is technology, but I'm trying to make a point. 9 times out of 10, if you are good with people will do business with people they want to do business with.
Pretty much.
Even if your product or your service is not always up to par and it's not top shelf where it can be, if people believe in you and they trust you and you're humble and you have a desire to operate with a spirit of excellence, they will invest in you. They will give you another opportunity. They will try again. They will fill your purchase order to help you meet your quota, whatever the case may be. But if you a jerk, if you a snob, just because you got a nice IG post that's popping, or you the only one in your family to do X, Y, Z, God gonna turn you into a raven.
Yep.
And humble you.
Yeah. And so we were talking about that because I was like, look, we all need each other. We need each other. It's about how you sell it to me. And so I will say that even in business, you can't fall for the first. They're going to pitch it. You have to put on your spiritual sunglasses. And you've got to be able to see spiritually what's good for you and what's not good for you.
I like that one. And
Did I do it?
Yeah,
I did good?
because I'm thinking like, you just want to see the run. I just want to see the sun keep the rays. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Like, just give me the view of the sun, but don't hit me with the rays.
And that's
all
where
the dangerous
that's where
stuff.
you'll go bad. That's where you'll go wrong.
Yeah.
Because now you've been sold a dream and you get into it and you be like, well, hold up. Well, what happened to you've got to put on your spiritual sunglasses, go up in that joker, sit and listen. And what's good for you, if it works, if they drop a couple of nuggets that you know fits your vision, run for it.
You said something right there. Don't buy somebody else's dream because their dream will become your nightmare.
Woo!
And that's real.
I'm about to shout. I'm trying not to.
You scared me last week.
I know, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was on video and I was like, yo, when you jump, I'll be ready. Best business advice I got came from one of my old business partners, Mr. Green. I'm going to shout him out, rest in peace. But he came to me one day and he said, Kendall, I'm less concerned about my name on the building and my name on the contract. Just spell my name right on the check. And I was like, you got to break that down a little further for me. He said, let me ask you this. Would you rather have 100% ownership of a $500,000 company, or would you rather have 10% stake in a $10 million company? And that's what you have to ask yourself. Pride and ego will have you want to have ownership of everything instead of missing what makes the most business sense. Me, I'd rather have 10% equity in a $10 million company. One, because it's more money, and with less percentage, I can make more money. And if I only own 10%, I'm not responsible for all the risk and liability. I don't have to carry all the investments. I can actually spread myself around as I do now and have equity in different companies that allows me to be nimble and maintain my happiness. So you have to realize, because we were leading into something else about partnerships, that sometimes it's necessary to have partners, and then sometimes it's just beneficial to have partners. So I had posed a question there to you about how do you feel about partnerships, and what does an ideal partnership look like?
That's hard.
No doubt.
You got to find the right partner.
What does that look like, girl?
It's different for everybody. For me, if I approach somebody and it's a vision that God has given me, I'm looking for a partner who wants to see my vision grow without coming in and trying to take over everything. Because it ain't going to work.
Okay. That's going to be good. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yo.
It ain't going to work. It's not. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, you cool, but you just talking all over the place. You just, you coming in. You have to come in with humility and wanting to see that other person's vision come to pass. Like, I always use this for an example. I've done Broadway twice. When I went in to do Broadway, I didn't go in with any of my singing runs and scales and my things I do on the stage. I had to humble myself and bring their vision to pass. And guess what? If I ever put a little the musical director will send you an email and tell you we would like for you to come in tomorrow at such and such time,
so
we can go over the show again. Here's what we would like for you to do. So, but I had that happen to me a couple of times, especially when I did Color Purple, because that was my first time doing Broadway. But let me tell you what I never did. I never got upset. I never said, well, I mean, they asked me, and you said something about being a student.
All day.
I can always walk into a room and be a student in that room if it's somebody else's vision. Because number one, I'm going to learn a lot of stuff. And I'm watching with my spiritual sunglasses. And I'm saying, ooh, I like how they did that. That's good for my business. I can use that. I like how he speaks to his people. I can use that. Oh, I like how they brought lunch in and kind of cater to everybody who's putting the show together. Like, I watch and I learn so much stuff. So I'm always a student. Right. So I feel like if I'm going to go to somebody and I want them to be a business partner with me, I would like to see that in them. Right. And then from there, like Jake's always say, he be asking his people, what do you think about that when you go out of meeting? Yeah. So how did you feel about that?
Make you get to your own answer.
Yeah, and just making sure that they understand the vision and we're on the same page. So you have to find that person. And to the other person, if somebody approaches you and wants you to be a part of their business, humble yourself and go in and learn. Like it feels good to be able to be a student too, because you're learning and when you treat people nice, they'll give you everything. I realized I work with a lot of people that will give me anything because of how I walked into the building and how I carried myself and how I listened and how I brought their vision to life. And they were like, yo, thank you so much. I'll call on you anytime. And that to me is a person that can, you can partner with people like that who can be a student as well as they may teach me something, but it's all in how you do it in that moment when you're working with somebody else's vision.
And I like that because it really is a testament to how me and you have taken 6 years to figure out how to coexist in business, because we see things different ways, we approach them different ways, and we also expect a different outcome. Yeah. So like in Rock Soul, one of the companies we have, that's what you're looking for in a partner, because based on your role and where you're positioned in the company. But then on my end, what I'm looking for, even in the same company, is I'm looking for people who can bring value to the table that I can't produce myself. I'm looking for people who my wife says, okay, this is what I want to do. And I'm like, okay, we can also add that. And she's like, okay, let's go. And I got to be like, how's we going to do this? And then, so therefore, I have certain mechanisms in my head and they work a certain way, but I'm looking for people who are sharper than me. Yeah. I'm looking for people who
I sit around and I get inspired, and they tickle my intellect, and they provoke me to want to dive deeper in the study. Those things enhance me. It would be like you being in a room with the 10 best vocalists in the world.
Man,
you would be in heaven, first of all, but you also would hear things and certain things, and it would remind you of things that you got. You know, it would provoke your creativity.
Yeah.
I'm like that with brilliant minds. The same way she feels about a vocal, I feel about a brilliant mind. So what I'm looking for in partners is somebody that's smarter than me in areas that I can't handle myself. And then I'm very big on culture. We have a company environment with Roxelle. We have a company environment about him for her. We have a company environment, Salute First, and everything that we got. You bring in one negative person, you bring in one bad spirit, you bring in one devil, it's going to stir the pot of your culture. So also what I'm looking for is not only your capabilities, but I'm looking at your personality and your character.
Yeah,
because if you go out here and you do something real crazy on your IG, the first thing I'm going to be like is look at your boy, or look at Fantasia so-and-so, or look at Kendall so-and-so. So you have to be dope at what you do. And at the same time, you have to walk tall. I ain't saying perfect, but realize that your character is also a part of the currency exchange.
You have to be willing to be a student.
Facts.
You have to be willing to be a student. I always tell people, I know I'm not the best singer in the world. I don't want to be the best singer in the world. I can sit here and name, real talk. I can name some of my favorite singers.
She do this all the time.
Because it's my truth.
Yeah, I feel you.
But what it is every room that I've walked in, I humble myself and I become a student. And I'm watching. And I'm trying to figure out how can I make your vision better. And I don't do it. I'm not saying that it comes from here. It comes from the body of work, the whole body of. When I leave out, I speak, I say goodbye, thank you for having me. I don't request flowers, I don't need this, I don't need that.
Yeah,
just give me a room, allow me to be able to decompress and get ready for what I'm about to do, and thank you for having me. We hope you think about us next time. So I think that's what carries me. Some people may want to know, what is it about her? Number one, it's the anointing. Number two, God has made room for me. And he has made great things. That was when I was in my mother's womb. Plus, I will never lose my humility. And I know that it is not me. It is the man upstairs. So if you can find partners like that, you're good to go. And if you can't, I ain't saying throw them to the side. Give the person a chance. But you ain't got but 3 strikes.
I'm down to 2 now. I'm about to be 40. I can't do 3 strikes no more.
It
might cost too much. Nah, you can't. Because we're professionals. At the end of the day, you get one mistake because of trying to build chemistry. You get another mistake because everybody's going to see how far they can go.
Hold up, though. Now, I might be 2, you might be 3, because I be quick.
I just do mine different. My wife will let you know she done with you. I'm the type, you just don't hear from me no more. Like, we go to a restaurant, my wife might let you know, can you take this back? I'm the type.
No, I don't.
Well, I'm trying to just use an example.
Use another one, because I hate sending food
Well, you
back.
be letting people know how you
Me
feel.
and
I be over there like,
kicking each other like.
My wife will let you have it. She be like,
No, I don't.
Dorikas?
Dorikas.
Hey, Dorikas, how you doing, sir? I'm not saying you mean about it.
Oh.
I'm not saying you're a mean person. What I'm saying is if you feel something, you're going to say it. I'm not that type.
In a way is still.
I'm the type, you just won't be on the next flight.
Oh, you're talking about business-wise.
That's all, mind on your business.
Yeah, not at the restaurant, because I be scared.
I was just using an example of how some people would say, that's because you don't do that. Okay.
Thank you.
How some people would say, I hit you with my head, I'm sorry. Some people be like, yo, this ain't what I ordered. This is too hot. This is too cold. I'm not the type.
Do any of y'all do that? If you do, no, don't do it if you ever.
I'm just the type. If I don't like my food, you just won't ever see me again.
Yeah, we just don't go back.
Yeah, she knows. She be like, you want to go to so-and-so? I'm like, nah, I'm good. You know what I mean? You're going to lose me on the long term. All right, one more thing that I want to see if they got any questions about minding your business. What was the hardest business decision you've had to make to date? Why was it so hard? And what was the outcome from making such a tough decision?
Just one?
Just one. See what they got to say. I know they got some interesting questions for you. Hardest business decision you've had to make to date. Why was it so hard? And looking back, what was the outcome from making that decision?
The hardest decision for me is when I realized I had gotten to a point where I felt like I wanted to be big and I wanted everybody to hear me and I wanted #1 albums and I started doing photo shoots and everything that was not like me. The hardest decision I ever made was when I said, I don't want all of that. I just want what God has for me. And I stopped chasing everything and feeling like I needed to be on this award show, that award show. And if I wasn't enough, because God made me enough from the jump. So I started saying no to a lot of things because I felt like I had more class and respect, and I don't need to go certain places. I don't need to do certain things because I've been set apart. And so I branched off and became my own rock soul, you know what I'm saying? And independent, and I don't want to chase. I'm not going to chase certain things. That was the hardest at the time. But then when I look now, that I'm straight.
I got you.
I'm good.
That's dope. Thank my heart and hear me out.
Oh God.
Nah.
Don't let it have nothing to do with me.
Of course.
Yeah.
My hardest business decision in my life was to make the decision to partner with my wife.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Number one, I'm a man. And I sacrificed a lot to build that company. And it was going through some things. I ain't here to throw nobody up under the bus. I was going through so much at that one time. I was having issues with partners in my business. I'm watching my wife go through what she's going through, knowing I need to be over here as a husband first. And then I didn't really know as much about the industry, of course, that I know now, and I wanted to make sure that I could deliver. You know, that was a tough decision for me. Several people around us have allowed me to make some mistakes and have some free will to do some things to get to the point where I'm like, okay, now I'm in the pocket. I know what questions asked. But that was a very tough time for me because I'm going through almost depression on this one end of losing my baby that I built and what I was known for, because in business, sometimes your business becomes your identity. You forget who you are outside of your title. When I come home, I'm not a CEO. I'm Pops. I'm Ken. I'm Bye-Bye, whatever she called me that day, King, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I had to separate from that identity and then walk into unfamiliar territory. So for me, that was one of the toughest business decisions that I've ever made, but one of the best that I've ever made in my life.
I just want to say something off of that. So the women who are watching, and you have men who are running businesses or trying to start their business up. Yes, that was hard for him to come on board with me because he says, I'm a man, I'm strong, I have pride. I knew my husband was hurting. He never showed it, but I knew my husband was hurting. So I want to say to the women out there, sometimes you got to pull, you got to be, if he's your king and you're his queen, you got to pull him up sometimes when he can't get up. Yeah. Okay? And so I said to him, I know who you are, and we need to do this together. And I need you to understand one thing. It doesn't matter what happens, because when I took those vows, for better or worse, I meant it. And if we at better, we're going to be good. And if we at worse, we're going to be good.
We're either going to be good or gooder.
Good or gooder. But you have to stand beside your king and allow him to know, because some people, there's some couples right now in this time from COVID and everything, the man has taken a hit and he's suffering. And he's having attacks. He's feeling his heart is heavy. He can't really let you know. That's the time when you got to pick your man up. Because the first thing we want to do is fuss. He ain't acting the same. He acting different. That's more on the man. Yeah. So you got to learn your man so well that you begin to realize, like, something ain't right. And I told somebody older than me the other day this, because they called me and was like, my man ain't acting the same, man. He came home and he was a little tipsy. He don't never get that tipsy. I said, there's something on his mind. And what you need to do is change the atmosphere. Cook him a nice meal. Put on something real dainty and cute. Pour him a glass of wine. Start the conversation off not about that, but lead it up to that to say, can I ask you some things? Is there anything on your mind? What can I pray for? What can I do to take that off him?
Make that man feel comfortable to be vulnerable, because we will not.
Pretty much.
We will tell you ain't nothing wrong.
And I do it all the time.
Ain't nothing happening, and you'll never know the difference. You got to make us feel comfortable. So when you dealing with minding your business, realize that it's 360. Ooh. You know what I mean? We're not just partners, but we're a couple, and we're a couple first. So if my wife is not healthy as a woman, not as a wife, not as a mother, but just as a woman, then the business is going to be affected. If I'm not healthy as a man, and I don't feel complete and whole within myself, that I'm taking brokenness to the boardroom. And that's unhealthy on all fronts either. So there is no separation. The line between business and personal, it doesn't exist. You know what I mean? And that's just where we at with it. I don't know if anybody has any, we on 2 different platforms now. So we on Facebook and IG. If y'all have any questions, any thoughts, whatever the case may be, we always just try to do our best to leave a little bit of time out there because this platform wouldn't be happening without you guys. And y'all come up with some dope stuff.
And I want you guys to know why you're asking and if you see anything, Derica. We chose to continue this also because, again, yes, there is a lot going on in the world today. And we want our people to mind their business, meaning go after everything so that we can have everything we need again. And we can support each other again.
Right.
And we can invest in our. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So in this time, I want us to mind our business and stay focused and create whatever it is, hairstylists, lashes, nails, makeup, clothing line.
If you want to go back to school, finish
yes,
those credits,
anything.
get that degree,
go get it.
Get those certificates, get that extra, bounce up into whatever you want to do. Just finish what you started. Like jump off that cliff. This is what I believe. Many people get to the cliff and they don't jump because they're scared that they're gonna fall. I believe if you trust God, yeah, you're gonna fall, but with God, you're gonna bounce. People want to avoid any kind of drop. They just want to take off and soar. It doesn't work like that. The faith in the Most High is knowing that if you hit some turbulence, if you start to fall, you won't hit the ground. You'll bounce. So go ahead and jump.
And that's why we told our friend today. We was like,
I like
in
jump,
the
bro.
midst of all of that, God is all in there.
Say you scared, you terrified, you feel like crying. He's
Good.
never closer. He's never
Yeah.
closer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What the people talking about?
So speaking of the line that you talked about between friends and business, when do you know it's time to call it quits?
Between friends and when it's, I would say when it's blocking your ideas, when it's standing in the way of ideas and growth, it's time to cut it off because you're gonna lose something that you probably invested 10, 15 years in because you're so busy going back and forth with a friend and because here's the thing, if I go into business with you right now, Essence, you are my friend and you are my sister, but the business part is different. And that's the part that people don't understand. It's like if we're in a meeting and I got something I want to say, we can't leave out the meeting. You look at me and say, why you say that to me? It's like, because it was true. So if that person cannot learn, if they can't separate the two, then you got to get out because it will never work.
Yeah, my quick response, and I like to just target men. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when you start to see principles are absent, it's time to go. I've been in a situation where the money has tanked and then it shot through the sky. I've been in a situation where everything plateaued and it was just even. But if we are having issues with our principles and we're no longer abiding by our principles and our universal laws and just the breadcrumbs of good character, then there's an issue. You know what I'm saying? I feel like money is just a tool. So we can figure out the money part. We can adjust the strategy. But if our principles are no longer in sync, then we gotta part ways, bro.
Whenever it's time to make that faith move, do you ever get fearful, and how do you get past that fear of stepping out on faith?
We just did it.
Yeah, we just did
We
it
just
with the
did
show.
it.
It was times I was looking at Kendall like, you good?
I'm like, yeah, I'm straight. And as soon as she walk off, I'm like,
I'm in the back like, oh God. But you know what? You can never let anybody see you. And I'm glad he does that. Because, you're going to be fearful in anything that you do. But the good thing is when you see it through, even in fear. And before I go on stage, matter of fact, before the curtain go down, before they walk me up the steps, and I hear Joy doing the I say, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow, I will fear no evil, for God is with me. Like, I have to constantly remind myself, like, okay, I got this. So, we get fearful and that's going to happen. But you can't stand in that for too long because then that's when we just telling God like he ain't who he say he is.
correct.
So that's why I quote the scripture to remind myself he is with me and we're going to be good.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying, player? You know what I'm saying?
doubt. Good question. We got a couple more.
What advice would you give a couple that have never worked together but want to go into business together?
Pray!
The question I would ask them to respond to that question is why? Don't do it just because you're a couple and you think it's going to look cute on IG. My wife has a specific talent. I have a specific talent that can coexist. But it took years.
Yeah.
It took, let me be honest.
Yeah, be honest.
Where we are now is by the grace of God. This partnership almost cost us our marriage.
Woo.
You know, our partnership, the way it stands tall now, where you can't break it, you can't pump fake us. We don't need nobody. Everybody that's around is because it's harmony, it's a partnership, everybody brings value. But we are finally in a place where we technically don't need anybody but God. But it cost us many nights, many arguments. Sometimes I almost lost my queen, man, over business talks.
Over business stuff.
Over business talks. The tour is over, the show's gone, everybody done took their money, they gone, they on vacation, and the two people who sitting here running quarterback, we in house sleeping in separate rooms for 2-3 days. Make sure you know why you're doing it. Did you hear from God? And that's what made me so nervous about, because she heard from God and I didn't. We'll do that next Taylor
Yeah,
Talk.
we can talk about that. Yeah, that'd be dope.
She heard from God of what God told her to do. It was 3 things financially that God showed her to do, and I was like, well, he didn't tell me.
Yeah. Ooh, that made me so mad.
I was like, hey, I ain't a dreamer. He didn't tell me. Show me the scriptures.
I dream. But that's true. It depends. And if they come back up and say, but it depends on why. Why are you guys doing it? Because a lot of people say in the industry, honey, don't ever let your man be your manager.
Hey,
and we not he's not my manager.
Nah, we partners.
We partners. And we have a team of management that we work with. We're partners. But even in that alone, it gets heavy. So just why? Let us know. Come back quick, because I want to talk about that.
It's very important. Why?
Very important. Say something quick.
Because you're risking a lot. So if there's another question, because we can go over like 2 or 3 minutes.
Fantasia, how did you know this man was for you?
They asked me that last week.
I told y'all because I had the sickest dance moves.
I think women ask that a lot because we walk in fear, and it's almost like, no way. Tell me again. Say it one more time. No way. I always said, I just took time out for myself and went on a fast, married myself. I didn't know how to love myself. I kept jumping in and out of relationships, trying to find, I swear, in and out of relationships. And this time I was like, I don't want to be with nobody but me. I want to learn how to wake up in the bed and feel good just waking up to me.
That's the answer though right there. When you can look in the mirror and know who you are, you'll know when you see your reflection.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
But too many times.
At least I ain't shout. I ain't shouting about
But too many times I think, and I'm telling you, being a man who used to be a master manipulator, just facts. Be careful looking into a man's eyes trying to see your reflection. You know, you looking at him and what he does and what he hides and how that's going to make you feel. You need to see God in his eyes, because there's going to be a day when that car, that house, that 6-pack, you're not going to care about none of that.
You know what's so crazy? Like when I was younger, I was talking to my girl about this. My little girl, I call her Nugget, my Nugget. I was telling her, I was like, Zaza, I think you're looking for the wrong kind of guy.
Looking for hurt.
And that's what I was doing, looking for hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I knew. That's what I was hurt. So hurt links up with what? Hurt. When I met Kendall, he wasn't saying nothing other than the fact that he came back down the steps and was, we're going to talk about that in something else. We're working on something else for y'all, but we talk about it. We talk about it a lot. And, some of the guys he was with was a little lit. They was lit.
Oh, they bonders.
Yeah, and they were all just coming. And he was the only one sitting over it. First of all, me and my girls wasn't even going to go into the place until he came down the steps and was like, on behalf, I would like to apologize. And I was like, who is this? Talking so professionally, and he wasn't lit, and he was lit, but he was like cool in his own little way.
You'll never know.
Nah, you'll never know what Kendall like. And so when we go up there, I'm just watching him not pay me no attention. Like, he wasn't sweating me, he wasn't trying to holler
at nobody.
And I looked over at him because he looked so uncomfortable, and I was like, smile. He was like, he looked at me and said this. He was like, this ain't my scene. I knew then. I was like, oh, I like it. I don't want nobody at the club. I'm tired of the club. I don't want you at the club. I don't want you at the strip club. I want you home with me. And so, real talk. And we begin to talk. I was just like, thank you. Oh, Lord. Really? But I was in that place. Right. Ooh. Come on. I was in that place. Like, I had that 7 months of fasting for me. I was so excited to come home and show people who I was at that point. Like, I was like, yo, my friends ain't even going to get this.
Wow. Yo,
what you got?
Check it. Be careful with that bed hopping, because you're not going to recognize him. You just going to make sure he's better than the last man that was in your sheets. Mm-hmm. You have to go through a season of purification to where you can cleanse yourself out of what you used to have, the one that hurt you, the one that got away. Daddy issues. Don't go looking trying to marry daddy. You got to clean yourself out so that you can see yourself for who you are and him for who he is. And I think sometimes men and women get in this situation where they hop and you're not really happy with what you see. It's just better than what the last one was. But the last one was also a mistake. And the last one was a mistake.
And I think, can you say you was?
I wasn't having sex. That's just the truth of the matter.
What y'all was doing? Praying all night?
None of your business.
I'll find out. I'm gonna talk to you.
All right, so we're gonna close like this. We hope. Oh, I'm sorry.
Last question.
Oh, I'm with it.
Do y'all have a goal that is a fear that you have not done yet?
You like that?
That's my cup.
It happens.
Yo, she always drinking out my glass. Do we have something on our board in our face that scares us? Absolutely.
We got a lot.
We stay with that. Y'all got to understand, like the announcement, man. Y'all understand? We put up our own money to do our own production. We streamed it ourselves. We did everything ourselves in 3 days. In 3 days, like there was no guarantee. There was nothing there. We could have lost everything. We could have the site could have crashed. Like, and everybody who we
thank you for your donations, because y'all did kill it.
Yeah.
Like, thank you. I mean, in other words, listen. If I would have went with some of the other companies, it could have been bigger. No, it could have. What I'm saying is, because they would have promoted it, we could have had more people. We could have, right? But we stepped out on faith, and we said we're not going for that. What we're doing is we're creating the setting, the atmosphere to continue to do it. So we had to go through that right there. So I'm done. I'm finna start preach.
So yeah, we stay with those. Like we're in a place now where we are in such a rhythm. We trust each other. We made financial sacrifices and brand sacrifices to put ourselves in a certain position, to where now we're looking at certain things saying, yo, we need to own that, and we need to control that, and we need to control that, and we need to diversify. We got some investments we looking at. But yeah, there's no guarantees in anything, but with God, and we're always in agreement.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go out here and do something and be like, yo, babe. So no, we have to be in agreement. And because when two or more agree, be careful with that one. Because a lot of people grab hands and pray, and one person saying, well, two or more gather in agreement, but do they agree? Because when you agree, I'm going to make the sacrifices, I'm going to be dependable, I'm going to be on deck. So whatever we go into with the Most High, we agree. I don't really see nothing that can stop us, because if he be for us, man, what's any kind of hater that's against us?
I called Kendall at the grocery store. I'm like, baby, do you agree? They got 2 for $5. You want me to get 2?
I agree on that 5 all day. Run me that whole hand.
I'm like, babe, look, they got
run me that whole hand. So real quick, so you're so cute.
You know I do though. I call me like, babe.
I'll be like, yo, whatever you
do. But that's dope though, because I used to leave and go to the store and come back with $1,000 full of groceries that we wasn't even gonna eat. Killer be like, babe, I think you just like
you just like spending money. Swipe-a-saurus Rex. That's why we got the Swipe-a-saurus Rex t-shirt. There's some ladies out there who just look, I don't care what it is. If I'm hurting, I'm swiping. If I'm happy, I'm swiping.
When
if I can't go nowhere, I'm swiping. Let me tell you, when my wife get mad, all I gotta do is wait a day or two and I go check the bank statement.
That was the old me.
Nope. That was the last argument
No.
We get mad at each other. Next thing you know, I see a spinning bike. I see all kind of bags coming from at home. I got like 10 packages of Amazon at the front door. And I'm like, yo, I said I was sorry.
I buy you something in.
I said I was, you ain't buy me.
I always get you
buying me something in a spinning bike, I gotta put it together.
That's better than me doing anything else out here.
But then she get
Let me
mad.
go buy
When she
a
get mad,
pillow.
listen. When she get mad and we get mad at each other, I go to the AMC and see a movie by myself. That's $5 Tuesdays.
Babe, do you know how long we be saying we gonna see the movie together?
No, I go by myself.
But that's not good. You don't want to go to At Home and buy pillows and stuff. I want to see the movie, so don't do that no more.
So we want to make sure that we close it out the right way because we're big on integrity. We were able to raise, with all of the 846 donations, we were able to raise $30,000, which was a huge deal because we could have charged $10, $15. And I want you all to know, because we saw certain comments, we don't address everything, but there were some comments about what are we going to do and how we going to handle things and so on and so forth. And so we're going to match that. We're going to match it.
Wait, about what?
Don't worry about it. I don't
No,
let my wife
tell
know how to comment. Well, when we was over here having our little party at the little house thing the other day, you had a couple of little people saying, yo, how they going to be in their mansion asking for donations. What you don't understand is it took a huge amount of money and sacrifice to put on that production to be able to recoup that.
What you don't understand is it took a huge amount of sacrificing and
Fact.
2 bad knees that I've had surgery on. And my feet, if I showed you my feet on how much I get out on the stage and have sacrificed to share my gift.
Fact.
And God has just now opened up doors for us because to much is given, much is required. And I give all that I got, so it does not matter. And we just talked about business. If you do the same, God can bless you too. See, what we got to learn how to do is be happy and be like praise for other people's blessings. A lot of times we have the crowd mentality, so you can't be happy for somebody else's gift, so you can't understand that the doors won't open for you until you learn how to be happy for somebody else's blessings. It's been a long time coming. It took me a long time to get here. Understand. Just one more thing I want to say. I lost everything twice, but never did I ever stop hitting that stage. Sometimes I hit the stage and didn't even get paid. Sometimes I would show up there and they wouldn't have the money for none of my people. I would make sure my people had money in their pocket before I had some in mine. Would come home to my children and didn't have no food to put on the table, but I never let anybody know that. So I want you to know one thing. It was God who allowed doors to open for me finally. And what we're trying to do is be a blessing into other people's pockets, because we all took a hit in COVID. I can't hit the stage right now. So every day I wake up and I say, God, show me what you got, because we can't work. Artists can't work.
So the first time we figured out a platform of how to make it work, instead of taking the profit, we decided to use our gift not just to bring healing, but to also bring a blessing to the families.
Yeah.
I was up till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning when everybody was in the pool partying. Den's got videos, Dorica's got videos. I'm sitting there with Marciano the whole night on my laptop, rebudgeting, going over figures. So everybody makes certain sacrifices.
But the one thing,
the
we
reason why it
can't,
doesn't
we
bother
can't
me,
detour from that.
you can't worry about that one comment and
I
overlook
know.
the 100,000 comments. I'm just making sure for the integrity of our brand and what we did, that we let you know what it is, and by tomorrow morning we'll know what families it's going to go to.
Well, this is what's
and that's
gonna
how we
cool
bring
me
it to a
off. I'm
close.
gonna say this how I'm gonna cool out.
Yeah, it's not even that
I
serious.
was able to put money in we paid out of our pockets, blessing our band who's not working right now.
Yeah.
So I want to say to God be the glory for that.
We don't have to explain anything. Like
You can't say stuff like, you can't tell me you right. Don't tell me
that's why I don't.
Okay.
So anyway,
My God.
great success. Gonna be some families we're gonna bless. I don't want to do it the wrong way, so we're gonna get a little bit of advice of where and how to divvy this up. But it was a huge success. Thanks to each and every one of you. Thanks to the band. Thanks to the Fillmore. Thanks to the whole crew. D'Angelo, Marciano, everybody, Live Nation, the whole WAP.
Yeah.
But be looking for us to do it again in another major way. And on that, and that's what I call minding your business. So boom, don't worry about what we do. Figure out what you could do great, and not only that, how you can do what you do to bless other people is the same way God is showing us how to do it with our gifts. And that's how we mind our business.
Man.
Salute. Like I said, my wife will let you know.
No, but I don't mean no harm by it.
It's not that serious though.
I know it.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
just.
At the end of the day, you'll have 10,000 positive comments. You'll see one negative comment, but I treat it like the person who cuts me off in the road. My wife be like, you don't got no roadways. What I be like is, that person right there is going through something. That person is surrounded by something beautiful and throwing something negative. I don't take offense to it. I always feel like that person is hurting because hurt people. We pray for that person. You know, we pray for their families. We pray they're in a better situation. And we forgive anybody like we always do. Anybody that said, done, took, robbed, stole, betrayed, we forgive them the same way Christ continues to forgive us. And that's how we continue to have the opportunity to do what we do.
I'm gonna end it. This is too much going on in the world right now. We ain't got time for negativity. Everybody should be uplifting, each other.
Facts. So speaking of that, Father, have your way in showing us how to mind your business. Because at the end of the day, the balance sheets, the ticket sales, the books sold, the direct deposits, they don't matter if it don't advance your kingdom. Because when we get to heaven, you're not going to look for those numbers. The only numbers you're going to say is how many people came to me because of you. When I gave you the microphone, when I gave you the position of power and leadership, did they see me? Did they see Christ? So Lord, allow us to step outside of ourselves so that we can see who you are in us. Then we will know our power. We will know our strengths. We will know our abilities when we're in the marketplace. And allow that ministry to translate into our marketplace ministry. Where we bring that light. We remain the salt of the earth. We remain a candle that cannot be smothered. We are that light that sits up on the hill representing you. That means we do business with ethics. That means we give people what is just and what is due. That means righteously we don't cut corners to compete, but we trust you to give us the competitive edge that we need. And at the end of the day, when we win, when we count it up and our storehouses are pouring out, we don't boast. We don't turn our eye to the poor. We don't turn our nose up to our family. We take those crowns and we cast them at your feet and we declare that you are the only one that is heard holy and worthy of praise. And then we get back to our feet and repeat that cycle again for the rest of our lives. And that is how we give you glory. We love you, we thank you, we trust you. And we ask that you bless every person that tuned in to carry that same posture so they can experience heaven on earth. In Christ's name we pray and we believe. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.